Well, hey, in the shop with me today, I've got Jennifer Walker from Dustless Blasting. Jennifer, great to have you.
Hey, it's nice to be here, Dennis.
And it's the first time to have you. This is wonderful.
It is.
You certainly brighten the set.
Well, thank you very much.
When I think of Dustless Blasting, I think of, basically stripping paint off cars, or in my case, trucks.
Yes.
And it does that magnificently.
Sure does.
But it's an interesting unit, which has got components in there that can really be, it's kind of Lego. They could be configured in different ways to do different things.
Sure. You know, we really wanted to bring this made-to-move mobile market out there by putting the machine on a trailer, and in doing so, outfitted it in such a way where it's more than just the blast pot. You had to have that, but you also had to have the big compressor that's on there.
Right.
You needed the water, so there's a water tank and a water pump, and then there's another piece that kind of gets hidden in there, and it's a air drying cooling system, a moisture separator, if you will. So that component there just kind of opens up a lot of possibilities for the blaster.
And so what are those possibilities?
So an air dryer cooler system is put on there specifically to take the heat that's generated from that air compressor and pull all that moisture out of it so that you have some clean blast lines if you are in the situation where you need to actually dry blast. There are certain situations where just wet blasting isn't feasible for the project, be it a soft wood or be it thin metals. You do have to dry blast.
Well, with the dustless, it's typically ground bottle glass,
Yes.
but some other applications you might not want something that aggressive, or you might want something more aggressive.
True.
You can use all these different media too, right?
Absolutely can. That's right. So with our system, being that it's the Venturi and it's suction based, it's not gravity fed. A lot of those organic materials like walnut shell or corn cob and even soda, which dissolves in water, but the others float, and that's not going to really work too well. So that's right. So we get all that moisture out of there and allow them to really get a good blasting system using that media.
So these softer and organics, like you say, the corn cobs or the walnut shells, that's what you'd use to do a log cabin or an antique door or something like that.
Exactly right.
So I can use almost any range of media.
That's right.
Wet or dry.
Wet or dry, media ranging from fine to coarse, and in the operating zones of 30 to 150 psi. It just really opens up all the different applications that are out there. You do masonry work, you can do the woods that I mentioned earlier, you can do all kinds of metals, aluminum to heavy grade steel.
That's all the different removal options I've got.
Yes.
But there are also application
There are
options.
So we went ahead and we put some little auxiliary ports on the end of that tank because it's pressurized as well from that air compressor we were talking about. And it's going to allow you to use a multitude of air tools. So if you're in a situation where you're going to need to throw a sealer onto something, you can go through and do that as well.
So primer, sealer, you can basically, it's suddenly a spray painter.
Exactly. Yep. You can attach the spray gun, and our rust inhibitor is great because you're going to get about 72 hours worth of time before you have to get it into primer. But there's a situation where the painter's not going to be scheduled for a couple of months out. You need to protect it the best you can, so why not put a sealer on it?
That's not a situation. That's the situation.
That's right.
So you can. So with the same unit, you can say, hey, okay, I just took the paint off, and I can put some primer back on, and then whenever your painter's ready, you're ready to go.
That's right. It allows the contractors just that ability to be a kind of a one-stop shop. They find that if their end user has to contact multiple different vendors to kind of get the situation taken care of, then they're likely to lose out on a job. And this just gave them one more thing to be able to walk in and get it done from A to Z.
It is not a one-trick pony.
It is not.
It is not a
one-trick. It is not a one-trick pony. That's right. Multifaceted is what we like to say, and made to move, which is so important. So.
Absolutely. Well, hey, if you want to learn anything more about the Dustless Blasting unit, which will do just about everything, log on to dustlessblasting.com.
That's right.
Walnut shells.
Walnut
Wow,
shells,
I like
corn
that.
cob.